If you've ever wondered if it's possible to win by simply showing up, to win the proverbial participation prize in building your brand, this video is for you. We are going to be uncovering the mere exposure effect, which is a very interesting psychological principle, a law that can help us build our business. My name is Kaye Putnam. I'm the psychology-driven brand strategist. I'm so excited that you're here hanging out in my orbit. I appreciate you. And let's get into the video. The mere exposure effect was named by social psychologist Robert Zajonc. Zajonc. Okay, there we go. He is Polish born, like I said, and has a Polish last name, which I apologize if I butchered. Probably did. Anyway, he had a hypothesis that the more that a stimulus is presented to the human brain, the more favorable that we would find it. So he ran an experiment where he showed images of faces and asked people to grade how much they liked the faces before and after the experiment. Now, interestingly, he found that after showing the same face over 20 times, the people that were rating that face rated it considerably higher across the board. Stop for a minute and think about the implication for your brand. If you can simply show up in your business and show up to the people that you want to sell to, perhaps more than 20 times, they are going to start to know, like, and trust you. It is massive. And if you're wondering if this experiment has been duplicated across other things other than faces, it has. So they tested it with some college students using banner advertisements on an article that they were asked to read. They rated the advertisements that they were exposed to multiple times higher than the ones that they either saw just a few times or not at all. And the same principle applies when you're talking about a song or an idea or even an object. Our brain is constantly lumping and categorizing things together, and things that are novel and new at our very core reptilian brain level, that can mean uncertainty, and uncertainty can mean danger or even death. So it is built into our brain to prefer the things that we know. And it's so interesting to me that all you have to do is to show up. At some level, you don't even have to do anything. Just being a familiar face in somebody's newsfeed or on somebody's phone or in somebody's life is going to make you more a preferred option to somebody that they don't know. Super powerful. So let's talk about the 4 ways that you can incorporate, that you can leverage the mere exposure effect when you're building your business or your brand so that more people start to like and trust you. So the first step is one that is most overlooked by most entrepreneurs, but thankfully you are here with me today, you smart cookie you, and I am going to teach you. The reason it's overlooked is probably because it's the least sexy, it's the least action-oriented. It's about getting brand clarity. Because if you don't know what you stand for, if you don't know what your brand personality is, what your brand values are, or that overarching message that you're bringing to people, it's going to be hard to create any type of repetition, which we'll talk about in a second, because you're constantly creating a new experience every time somebody comes into contact with you. So this clarity is crucial. And you, as the entrepreneur, visionary, driving force of your brand, need to set that brand clarity at a core level before you focus too much on, hey, look at me. So step number 2 for leveraging the mere exposure effect in your brand and business is consistency. Similar to clarity, this is when we're actually translating what we know to be true about ourselves into outward-facing cues. So things like your logo, your fonts, your colors. If you keep these things consistent over time, people are going to associate them with you, and they're also going to like them more. I can think of several entrepreneurs who haven't changed their colors in decades, and I can literally associate them with the brand colors that they use. Now, this isn't to say that if you have a completely outdated, ugly, or just out of alignment brand that you can't rebrand, but don't do that just out of the sake of novelty or because you're bored of your brand. It should be a strategic decision, because when you do that, you're losing some of the equity that you've built up so far. So that's step number 2. Step number 3 is repetition. So once you know who you are, how you're going to show up, then we have to literally show up and repeat some of those messages, some of those core values, those stories, like your origin story, multiple times. Because again, even more than our face, if we're repeating some of the same ideas in perhaps like slightly different contexts, or like you're wrapping it in a different container. So if you're telling a story, maybe sometimes it's the 2-minute version, sometimes it's the 20-second version, sometimes you have a whole interview, like 20 minutes or 40 minutes to tell a story. But the more that your audience hears that, the more that they're going to appreciate that story and that message that you're communicating. Being a brand is just communicating the same things over and over and over again in slightly different ways. So it's consistency of message, and there's a little bit of novelty in the way that you're packaging it up each time. And then step number 4 to leveraging the mirror exposure effect in your business is visibility. Where are you going to be showing up that your ideal clients could potentially be exposed to your message? And maybe you're even going to control it in some aspects. So you could retarget people who have discovered you on one platform, say like they found you in a Google search. There are ad platforms like Facebook and Instagram and Google, for that matter, where you can reach those same people to make sure that you're creating some of that repetition so that you're being visible to the people who now know who you are. That is so powerful. It's one of the reasons why retargeting ads are one of the highest converting and lowest costs when it comes to paid advertising. One other example of brands using the mirror exposure effect is the prevalent use of product placement in TV shows and movies. I'm sure that you've noticed a time or two your favorite TV character driving down the road and they kind of like zoom out and show you the logo of the car. I guarantee you that car company paid for that placement. That TV show isn't doing that out of the goodness of their heart. The companies recognize the value of the mirror exposure effect. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this content. I know that it is going to be incredibly valuable if you put it to work in your brand and in your business. And if you need help with these 4 steps, I have a product, a course that you can leverage to learn every step of this process. It's called Brand New Brand. It's my brand incubation program that walks you step by step by step through brand clarity, translating that into outward-facing cues, the stories that you're going to tell, and then creating that visibility plan so that you can create more repetition in your business. All of these things feed into our human psychology so that people sit up, they pay attention, and that you can serve more people and have the impact that you desire to have in this world. If you found this video valuable, definitely hit the thumbs up. I appreciate you. I hope you're having an incredible day, and I will see you in the next video.